What's up, everybody? It's Jessa here from Sycamore Ridge, and I decided to hop on here and go live for just a little bit as I'm finishing up in the garden tonight and talk about Life 5B and the food box problem. Sorry, I got a lovely assistant here. The food box program and the fundraiser that I started over on my personal page, and just talk about that. So if anybody hops on and they have any questions, that is what I'm talking about tonight. But in the meantime, I thought I would do just a little tour of the garden. I just got done planting some radishes, and Michelle planted some carrots, and I planted just a little row of sunflowers and some beets. So that is all stuff that you can keep planting. One of the gardeners that I follow, MI Gardener, just did a whole live on stuff that you can be planting even right now. So you could do some successions of stuff. And since I didn't get those things like the radishes, especially early in the spring because of all the rain, I got them in now. And so I'll have some more of those coming up soon. I do have some radishes already planted. So I'm gonna... You are such filth. She's a dirty dog. I'm going to go ahead and switch it over and show you what I've been working on. But like I said, if you have any questions about Life 5B and the fundraiser and the food box program, before I get to my radishes, let's talk a little bit about Life 5B. So it was started by a group of us that are very similar journeys. We do kind of the homesteading, the gardening. The ducks want to make an appearance too. The homesteading and the gardening, and we all have similar passions about getting good local food to people in the area. And so we started meeting on a regular basis just to talk about different things that we could do around the local food economy and the food systems and improving our businesses and just different ideas. So the local farmers markets, what can we do to help promote the local farmers markets? And maybe a mobile food truck, that's something we could do. And like some of the barriers that keep local people from getting local food, and how we are actually all in a food desert because it's can be very challenging to get to good, healthy local food. Even though we have the farmers markets, sometimes people can't get to them easily. So anyway, a group of us were meeting on a regular basis, and we wanted to get a little more official and have our thoughts collected somewhere. So we set up not an LLC, a 501c3, and became a nonprofit. And we named ourselves Life 5B, which stands for Local Iowa Food Empowerment. And if you don't know, 5B is our hardiness zone, or also called like a growing zone. So we wanted to, have a shout out to kind of our gardening roots. And one of the programs that we stumbled upon is the LFPA program. So what that stands for is Local Food Purchasing Assistance or Agreement. I always mess up the A. But it is a federally funded program that gives money to nonprofits to purchase from local producers. So you have to apply to do both. And we really wanted to cut out the middleman and be the nonprofit that also had producers. This is a common program for like food banks and other nonprofits that are the distributors. And we wanted to be kind of all of it, the purchaser, the distributor, and the producer. And because we wanted to make sure that we were kind of lowering any barriers to get to local food. So I don't know if anybody's familiar, but like some of the food banks in our area are only open certain hours. You have to set up an appointment, and sometimes you don't even have a ride to get there. And so if you have like a food emergency and like you have to have food now, that could be really challenging in this area. So we have kind of a program, I wouldn't call it a system, it's not super fancy yet, but if you have a food emergency, you can reach out to Life 5B. You can just message us on Facebook which is kind of a barrier in itself. But if you can get a hold of us in some way, and we can get food to you within 24 hours. We have our own little food bank. Obviously, we have access to all these producers. So that is one of the things that Life 5B does. Anyway, LFPA is a federal program that funds us to purchase local food from producers that have gone through the application process, and then we take that food that we purchase. So we're paying the farmers, so that's awesome. We take that food. We have an application process for people to get the food boxes. So we supply those to people in communities all within Southwest Iowa. So we've purchased the food through Old Road Cafe in Emerson. We now rent from them, and we store our food there, and then we create the food boxes after we've heard from all these local producers and make these food boxes. Then we pay a local service to deliver those boxes or get them to the community so they can be picked up. So the problem is, and why I'm doing this fundraiser, is that federal funding is expiring after this year. So this is the last year of the LFPA program as we currently know it. There was a push to get it funded at a state level through Iowa. So this is federally funded through the USDA. So there was a push to get it at a local level because Iowa's been very successful with the LFPA program, and that didn't get pushed through. So not to get too political, but Republicans, sorry, that's who's in charge, and so it didn't make it. So but Life 5B would like to continue to do this program. Now, we were funded, I want to say, right around that $40,000 mark to cover all of the boxes and produce that we were going to be doing this year. So if that money is no longer coming to us next year, we will not be able to do this food box program that currently we have over 100 people that we are going to be delivering to. We may not have delivered to them yet because of the weather and all the delays and everything with the growing season, but we have over 100 people on our list that have been contacted that will be receiving those boxes this year. But we want to be able to do that again next year, maybe even expand, and we do not have the funds to do that currently. We've been doing things to try to raise funds. We do the food classes. We've got the tie-dye t-shirt class coming up. But really big shout out to Delton because of the food classes. We get donations, of course, here and there. But this is just a really big push to kick off that fundraising. There are grants out there. A lot of them are matching grants. So you have to have the money first to make it happen. And of course, we have expenses. We are federally funded to purchase the produce, but we're working on a website, the stamps, just general, we're renting the building. So we want to pay our dues where we can. A lot of people will say, well, I'll donate the food, and that's great. We'll obviously take those donations, but we also want to be able to pay these farmers that are doing this for a living or to support their families. We want to be able to pay them a fair wage as well. So the fundraiser is on my personal page. I do believe I shared it on this page, and we're starting out at just $5,000. Honestly, that's the max that I could set it up for, but I thought that's a nice starting point. Like, let's do this, Southwest Iowa, and show everyone in the area that we can get it together and we can support a local nonprofit that's supporting local families and local farmers. And it just is what is more Iowa than that? So I think we can come up with $5,000 just to say we can do it. And then we got a long way to go. We've got to get 40,000 by next year to do this at the level that we're doing right now. So we pay the delivery service, we pay the farmers for their produce. We had to buy a little bit of infrastructure, some boxes, the sacks. We need cool packs, that sort of thing to support the program. So, and just to talk about the boxes themselves. So last year, the value of the boxes that we were delivering to local families in need was anywhere between like $50 and like $85, that they're getting this box delivered right to them of local produce. So these radishes that I'm going to show you guys, carrots, we got funded really late in the season last year, and it was amazing what we were able to put together. I know I had a few tomatoes. I think we were able to deliver tomatoes for like maybe 2 weeks. Garden of Paradise, he came in clutch. He had a lot of sweet potatoes, so that was able to fill the boxes. And I know I had quite a few peppers, and I got some peppers donated to us. It was crazy last year. So to get funded earlier when we're supposed to be this year is really awesome. And we're really disappointed that we haven't been able to like really butter up these boxes. You know, typically we would have tons of radishes, you know, tomatoes maybe start coming on, some people, carrots, that sort of thing. And we've just kind of been scraping by. But this week, I know that I am sending in, I have basil. So variety of basil like lemon, cinnamon, the dark opal, some spicy globe. Anyway, and then some peppers and some dill and some chives. So that's stuff that will be in the boxes this week. So that's the main reason I came on here, was to answer any questions about that. I don't know who else watching. If anybody, I don't know, I'm probably have one person maybe watching. But if you have questions about Life 5B, that's what I'm here to talk about. But I wanted to walk around the garden just a little bit and show you what I got going on so far. This is the Nessie. She's probably telling me to come inside because her mama is in there making supper. She says, hey, you gotta come in and eat. All right, let's go look at the garden first. All right, so what I was originally talking about was radishes. So a little bird told me that she saw a video about radishes will keep away squash bugs. And I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I thought it's worth trying. I had a ton of radish seeds, and obviously these are going to need to be thinned out. But I had 6 summer squash here, zucchini, and you can see that 4 of them are really thriving. So there's that guy over there. I lost one for sure right here, and then this guy is just like hanging on by a thread. I don't know if he's gonna come out of it. There's some green there. So before I even get to prove if that experiment is successful or not, I lost a few, but we'll see. I'm pretty excited. And then over here, for all my okra people, this is all ruby red okra. And I've got some that's even bigger on the other side. Hey, Tammy, thanks for joining. I'm glad when people say hi, because I don't know who's watching. If I'm just talking to myself, that's all right too. So over here, this is a little bit of a mess. The grass is doing very well too, but you can see, I'll show you. There's parts of it that aren't so bad. So there's I just got a message from Michelle inside that Fritzy likes Mila. And it's so funny because Fritzy doesn't like anybody, but she likes the giant Great Dane. So lots of tomatoes right through here amongst the weeds. There is some basil. So that's mammoth basil right there. And then I've got a couple of calendula in and amongst these darn weeds. So that's a calendula. This is one starting to bloom. So actually these are edible. I've never tried them, but and you can make a salve that's really good for your skin. More basil, more tomatoes. So if anybody's got any questions about Life 5B or the food boxes, that's what I'm really here to talk about. This is just a bonus, is talking about all my garden stuff. Life 5B, it's been here for, 2 years? No, not quite 2 years. Maybe. I need Heather on here. She's better at remembering dates than I am. But yeah, for the most part, we are the original crew, and we've gained some membership along the way. So this right here, man, he's really taken over. This is an artichoke. Mine did not look this good last year. Like, I'm really kind of shocked. Sorry, I'm kind of weeding as I go. Shocked at how healthy that is. I've got another one over there that's just not quite as healthy. Well, yeah, here a couple. So this is also, believe it or not, an artichoke. That is the same thing as that. This is a sunflower. It's actually a volunteer. It just kind of popped up on its own. So I love the volunteers, so I let it do its thing. And over here is some more okra. This is arugula. It is delicious. I really like arugula. It's a little spicy, a little horseradishy, but it's so good. I'm gonna have a little bite. Okay, this is the okra, and check this out. Oh, some ants, but also a little baby okra. So I'm super stoked. Once that comes on, that will definitely be in the LFPA boxes and probably for sale. I was supposed to have okra last year, and I know some people were really disappointed because the goats ate all my okra. Another artichoke. That's a zinnia. And there are a couple peppers in here. Excuse me. They got a ways to go. Then I got a couple more okra right here. This is a Clemson spineless. This is not the ruby red. As you can tell, it doesn't have that really red color to it. Man, there's more okra over here than I realized. More tomatoes. And then we just got more tomatoes. But you can see where Michelle's been weeding. She's doing much better than I am. My weeding is very sporadic. There's a Nessie. All right, so I'm going to go back inside and have some supper. But I will get this posted because I wanted to talk about that fundraiser because it's really important. It's a really great thing for Southwest Iowa. And the other thing about Life 5B is, like, we're kind of like a coalition. Like, we want to work with other groups in the area. Right now, we're working with Live Well, Montgomery County. They help run the community garden in Red Oak, and